Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear student, today we discuss the topic law of conservation of mass from chapter 5 chemical reaction. This law was put forward by a French chemist Lavoisier in 1785. According to this law, mass can neither be created nor destroyed during chemical reaction. According to this law, the total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of product after chemical reaction. However, in chemical reaction, matter can be changed from one form to the another form of state of matter. However, the total net mass of the reactant substances before and after chemical reactions are equal. For example, when iron react with oxygen, it forms iron oxide. Iron and oxygen are the element. However, when they react with each other, they form a compound iron oxide. Dear student, to calculate the mass of the substances, we put the mass in chemical equation. When iron react with oxygen, it form iron oxide. Then according to law of conservation of mass, we must be balance the chemical equation, because a chemical equation shows that how many number of an atoms react with each other to make a product. So 4 with Fe, iron, symbol of iron, 3 coefficient used for oxygen. So 4 and 3 are the coefficient that are used for balancing chemical equation. Similarly, at the product side, to balance the iron and oxygen, iron oxide, both on product side. The mass of iron is 56, mass of oxygen is 16. 4 coefficient that we use for balancing of a chemical reaction, 56 is the mass of iron. 4 multiply with 56, we get 224. Mass of oxygen atom is 16. There are oxygen atom, 2 oxygen atom are present, or 1 molecule, it has 2 atom of oxygen. So 2 multiply with 16, we get 32. During balancing chemical equation, we have a 3 molecule of oxygen, so we multiply 32 with 3, we get 96. 224 plus 96, that is equal to 320. So the net amount of a reactant on reactant side, net amount of a mass on the reactant side is equal to 320 grams. On the product side, total 4 atom of iron and 6 atom of oxygen. So 56 is the mass of iron. 2 multiply with 56, we will get 112. 3 multiply with 16, 48. 112 plus 48, 160. 160 multiply with 2, 320. So the total mass of a reactant and product before and after chemical reaction is same, which prove the law of conservation of mass, that mass can neither be created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction. However, the form of matter change from one state to another state. Now we can prove the law of conservation of mass by a simple experiment. In this experiment, we need electrical balance to measure the weight and reacting substances. Conical flask, test tube, and test tube is hanging in conical flask with the help of a string, and this test tube contain a chemical sodium hydroxide in form of solution, and in conical flask copper sulfate solution is present, and the net amount of all these reacting substances and apparatus is 67.25 grams before chemical reaction. When we add the solution of sodium hydroxide from a test tube to the copper sulfate solution that are present in conical flask, then chemical reactions takes place, and after chemical reaction the net amount of a product is 67.25 gram. No change occur in grams. However, only when sodium hydroxide react with copper sulfate, it's make new product that are sodium sulfate and copper hydroxide in the form of precipitate. So this experiment also proved that before and after chemical reaction, the net amount of reacting substances are equal. Matter is neither created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction. However, a chemical change may be accompanied by a change in physical state of reactant due to rearrangement of atoms. Dear student, whenever chemical change takes place, then atoms rearrange themselves to make new products. Only the form of matter change from one state of matter to another state of matter. However, the total amount of a reactant and total amount of a product is equal. For example, water is formed which is from gaseous oxygen and gaseous hydrogen. When two molecule of hydrogen react with one molecule of oxygen, it produces two molecule of water. When we calculate the number of an atom on both sides after balancing chemical equation, we have 4 atom of hydrogen and 2 atom of oxygen on both reactant and product side. If we want to calculate the mass, we put the mass, we know that the mass of hydrogen is 1 and the mass of oxygen is 16. On a reactant side, there are 4 hydrogens, so the mass of hydrogen is 4, and there are 2 atoms of oxygen, so the mass of one oxygen atom is 16. 16 multiplied with 2, so 32 is the molecular mass of the oxygen. 32 plus 4 is equal to 36. On a product side, we have 2 molecules of hydrogen. Molecular mass of hydrogen is 2. 2 multiplied with 2, 4. 2 atom of oxygen, mass of one oxygen atom is 16. 16 multiplied with 2, 32. 32 plus 4 equal to 36. So the mass of a reactant site is equal to the mass of a product, which proved the law of conservation of mass. That according to this law, mass can neither be created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction. Now there is quiz for you. Define law of conservation of mass and prove law of conservation of mass by chemical reaction. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.